Hello students, today we are going to study information and system. This is block 3 and here is the structure for the block. We are going to discuss information concepts, MIS and system concepts followed by EIS and reporting system concepts and MIS. After that, data analytics and business intelligence, which is very important. Then business reporting and fundamental of XBRL. And then we will discuss two case studies. So our first topic is information concepts. The word information is used commonly in our day-to-day working. In MIS, information has a precise meaning and it is different from data. The information has a value in decision making while data does not have. Information brings clarity and creates an intelligent human response in the mind. In MIS, a clear distinction is made between data and information. Data is like raw material, while the information is equivalent to the finished goods produced after processing the raw material. Information has certain characteristics. These are information improves representation of an entity, updates the level of knowledge, has a surprise value, reduces uncertainty, aids in decision making. So, what do you understand by information? Information is data that has been processed, organized, or structured in a way that adds context and significance, making it useful to those who receive it. It is not merely the raw data, which can be random and unorganized, but rather what emerges from data when it is interpreted and given meaning. Information reduces uncertainty by providing answers to specific questions and adding clarity to a situation or a condition. And another definition is information can be recorded as signs or transmitted as signals. Information is any kind of event that affects the state of a dynamic system that can interpret the information. Conceptually, information is the message being conveyed. Therefore, in a general sense, information is knowledge communicated or received concerning a particular fact or circumstances. Information cannot be predicted or resolves uncertainty. So, what is the difference between information and data? Data can be described as unprocessed facts or figures. Plain collected data as raw facts cannot help in decision making. However, data is the raw material that is organized, structured, and interpreted to create useful information system. Data is defined as group of non-random symbols in the form of text, images, voice representation, quantities, actions, and objects. Information is interpreted data created from organized, structured, and processed data in a particular context. So, according to Davis and Olson, information is a data that has been processed into a form that is meaningful to recipient and is of real or perceived value in the current or the prospective action or decision of recipient. So, here is the information concept. Professor Ray R. Larson of the School of Information at the University of California provides an information hierarchy, which is like first of all, we have data, then information, then knowledge, then wisdom. So, what is data? Data is the raw material of information, and information, data organized and presented by someone. What is knowledge? Information read, heard, or seen or understood. And what is wisdom? Distilled and integrated knowledge and understanding. In MIS, information has a precise meaning and it is different from data. The information has a value in decision making, while data does not have. Information brings clarity and creates an intelligent human response in the mind. In MIS, a clear distinction is made between the data and information. Data is like raw material, and information is equivalent to finished goods. The information has certain characteristics. These are: information improves representation of an entity, updates the level of knowledge, right? So the quality of information could be called good or bad, depends on the mix of these characteristics. Information is a data that has been processed in the form of meaningful to the recipient. So the above model of communication is used in the MIS. The MIS is equivalent to the transmitter, which provides information and sends through reports. Reports is called channel to the various receivers, which is decoded or interpreted by the receiver at the destination. The poor quality of information due to various factors would create confusion and misunderstanding, which is equivalent to a noise and a distortion in the communication model, as good MIS communicates the information without noise and distortion to the user. Information, data, and collection techniques. So there are so many techniques, and the most popular data collection techniques include surveys. Surveys are a questionnaire is prepared to collect the data from the field. Next, we have secondary data sources or archival data. So data is collected through old records, magazines, company website, etc. Next is objective measures or test. An experimental test is conducted on subject and the data is collected. And last we have interviews. So data is collected by the system analyst by following a rigid procedure and collecting the answers to a set of preconceived questions through personal interviews. Here we have 5 characteristics of data quality. First is accuracy, then completeness, reliability, relevance, and timeliness. So, as the name implies, accuracy, this data quality characteristics means that information is correct. To determine whether data is accurate or not, ask yourself if the information reflects a real world situation. For example, in the realm of financial services, does a customer really have $1 million in his bank account? Accuracy is crucial data quality characteristics because inaccurate information can cause significant problems with severe consequences. We will use the example above. If there is any error in the customer's bank account, it could be because someone accessed it without his knowledge, right? Next characteristic is completeness. Completeness refers to how comprehensive the information is. When looking at data completeness, think about whether all of the data you need is available. You might need a customer's first and last name, but the middle initial may be optional. Why does completeness matter as a data quality characteristic? If information is incomplete, it might be unusual. Let's say you are sending a mailing out. You need a customer's last name to ensure the mail goes to the right address. Without it, the data is incomplete. Next characteristic is reliability. So, in the realm of data quality characteristic, reliability means that a piece of information doesn't contradict another piece of information in a different source of system. We will use an example from the healthcare field. If a patient's birthday is January 1, 1970 in our one system, yet it's June 13, 1973 in another, the information is unreliable. Reliability is a vital data quality characteristic. When piece of information contradict themselves, you can't trust the data. You could make a mistake that could cost your firm money and reputational damage. Next quality is relevance. When you are looking at data quality characteristics, relevance comes into play because there has to be a good reason as to why you are collecting this information in the first place. You must consider whether you really need this information or whether you are collecting it just for the sake of it. So, why does relevance matter as a data quality characteristic? If you are gathering irrelevant information, you are wasting time as well as money. Your analysis won't be as valuable. And our last characteristic of data quality is timeliness. As the name implies, refers to how up to date information is. If it was gathered in the past hours, then it's timely unless new information has come in that renders previous information useless. The timeliness of information is an important data quality characteristic because information that isn't timely can lead to people making the wrong decisions. In turn, that cost organizations time, money, and reputational damage. Timeliness is an important data quality characteristic. Out of date information cost companies time and money. In today's business environment, data quality characteristic ensures that you get the most out of your information. When your information doesn't meet these standards, it is not valuable. Precisely provides data quality solutions to improve the accuracy, completeness, reliability, relevance, and timeliness of your data. So, our next topic is classification or types of information. The information can be classified in a number of ways, providing a better understanding. Information is classified in the following manner. So, first type is action versus non action information. The information which includes action is called action information. The information which communicated only the status of a situation is non-action information. No stock reports calling a purchase action is action information, but the stock ledger showing the store transactions and the stock balances is non-action information. Second type is recurring versus non-recurring action. The information generated at regular intervals is recurring information. The monthly sales reports, the stock statements, the trial balance, etc. are recurring information. The financial analysis or the report on the market research study is non-recurring information. Next is internal versus external information. The information generated through the internal sources of the organization is termed as internal information. while the information generated through the government reports, the industry surveys, etc., is termed as external information. As the sources of the data are outside the organization, the action information, the recurring information, and the internal information are the prime area for computerization, and they contribute qualitatively to the MIS. The timing and accuracy of the action information are usually important. The mix of the internal and external information changes depending on the level of the management decisions. At the top level of management, the stress is more on the external information, and at the operational and the middle level, the stress is more on internal information. Next is planning information. Certain standards, norms, and specifications are used in the planning of an activity. Hence, such information is called planning information. The time standards, the operational standards, the design standards are the example of the same. And last, we have control information. So, reporting the status of activity through a feedback mechanism is called the control information. When such information shows a deviation from the goal or the objective, it will include a decision or an action leading to control. So next topic is components of information system. You can see the diagram. An information system is a combination of hardware, software, telecommunication networks that people build to collect, create, and distribute useful data. Typically, in an organization, it defines the flow of information within the system. The objective of an information system is to provide appropriate information to the user. To gather the data, process the data, and communicate information to the user of the system. So component of the information systems, as you can see, first is computer hardware. Physical equipment used for input, output, and processing comes under the computer hardware. The hardware structure depends upon the type and size of the organization. It consists of an input and an output device, operating system, processor, and media devices. This also includes computer peripheral devices. Next component is computer software. The programs and application program used to control and coordinate the hardware components. It is used for analyzing and processing of the data. These programs include a set of instructions used for processing information. Software is further classified into three types. First is system software, second application software, and last is procedures. Next we have database in our components. So data is the raw fact and figure that is unorganized or later processed to generate information. Softwares are used to organizing and serving data to the user. Managing physical storage of media and virtual resources, as the hardware can't work without software, the same as software needs data for processing. Data are managed using database management system. Database software is used for efficient access for required data and to manage knowledge bases. Next component is networks. Networks resources refer to the telecommunication networks like the intranet, extranet, and the internet. These resources facilitate the flow of information in the organization. Networks consist of both the physical devices, such as network cards, routers, hubs, and cables, software such as operating systems, web servers, data servers, and application servers. Telecommunication networks consist of computers, communication processors, and other devices interconnected by communication media and controlled by software. Networks include communication, media, and network support. Next, we have human resource, and it is the last component of information system. It is associated with the manpower required to run and manage the system. People are the end user of the information system. End user use information produced for their own purposes. The main purpose of the information system is to benefit the end user. The end user can be accountant, engineers, salespersons, customers, clerks, or managers, etc. People are also responsible to develop and operate information systems. They include systems analysis, computer operators, programmers, and other clerical IAS personnel and managerial techniques. Our next topic is nature of information. The nature of information can be explored through several key characteristics. First is contextual, second meaningful, next we have purposeful, followed by transformative, relational, and dynamic. We will discuss one by one. So, information is not static or absolute. Its value and significance depend heavily on the context in which it is used. What is informative in one situation may be irrelevant in another. The context defines the boundaries and applicability of the information. What is meaningful? Information inherently carries meaning, unlike data, which can exist as mere numbers or facts without context. Information implies that the data has been processed to be meaningful to someone. Purposeful. So, information serves a purpose. It is created, processed, and utilized to achieve specific objectives, such as solving a problem, making a decision, or transmitting knowledge. Informative, transformative. The effective use of information can lead to knowledge and subsequently to wisdom. This transformation occurs through processes of analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, where information is not only absorbed but also critically assessed and applied. Next, we have relational. Information is often about relationship between data points. For example, trends, correlations, and patterns are all informational construct that help in understanding relationships within the data. Next is dynamic. So the relevance and form of information can change over time as new data becomes available or as the context shifts. The information may need to be updated or reevaluated to maintain its usefulness. Now we will understand information as a resource. The concept of information as a resource is pivotal in understanding how information functions within various systems. be it in business, technology, or governance. This concept underscores the strategic value of information, treating it not just as a byproduct of activities but as a core asset that can be managed and leveraged to achieve organizational goals. Here are some characteristics of information as a resource. Information shares many characteristics with traditional resources like capital and labor, but it also possesses unique properties that make it a distinctive and powerful resource. First point is expendable. So, information is not depleted through use. Instead, it can grow through the addition and synthesis of new data and insights. Next point is compressible. Information can be condensed or summarized without losing its essential utility, making it easier to store and communicate. Next point is substitutable. Substitutable. It can often replace other resources such as capital, labor, or physical material, providing a more efficient or cost effective way to achieve goals. Next point we can take transportable. So, information can be easily transferred across geographical boundaries without significant cost, often instantaneously with modern technology. Next point is diffusive. Once shared information tends to spread quickly and can be difficult to contain, which can be both an advantage and a risk. Next is shareable. Unlike physical resources, information can be shared with multiple users simultaneously without diminishing its value to any individual user. Management of information as a resource. It involves several key practices that ensure its effectiveness as a resource. First point is information resource management, which is also known as IRM. This is a broad discipline that involves managing an organization's information resources just as one would manage other asset. It includes the management of all components necessary to collect, process, and maintain information, such as hardware, software, data management system, and HR. Next point is strategic planning. Effective transformation management requires strategic planning to align information resources with organizational goals. This involves understanding the information need of the organization and planning how to satisfy these needs efficiently and effectively. Next point is quality control. Ensuring the accuracy, reliability, and timeliness of information is crucial. Poor quality information can lead to bad decision making and inefficient processes. Next, we have security and privacy. Given its value and power, information must be protected against unauthorized access and breaches. Information security measures are vital to safeguard sensitive data and maintain privacy standards. Next is leveraging technology. So, technologies such as data mining, data warehousing, and business intelligence play a critical role in enhancing the utility of information. They allow organizations to extract insights from large data sets, improving decision making and strategic planning processes. Here are some implications of information as a resource. The treatment of information as a resource has significant implications for how organizations operate and compete. In the digital age, where vast amounts of data are generated and collected, the ability to manage and utilize information effectively can be a major competitive differentiator. Organization can excel in information management, can enhance efficiency, innovate and adapt more quickly to market changes or customer needs. So ultimately, information is a dynamic and critical resource that requires careful management. Its unique characteristics not only differentiate it from other resources but also enhance its value to organizations. By effectively managing information, organizations can unlock its full potential, leading to improved operations, better decision making, and stronger competitive positions. Now we will understand information in the digital age. So, the digital age, also known as the information age, marks a profound shift in human civilization from an economy and society rooted in industrial manufacturing to one dominated by information technology. This era began in the mid 20th century, catalyzed by significant technological advancement such as development of transistor in 1947 and the optical amplifier in 1957, which led to the groundwork for modern computing and telecommunication. Here are some characteristics of the same. So in information age is characterized by several key features that distinguish it from previous historical period. First point is digitization of information. One of the hallmark of this age is the conversion of information into digital format. This information has impacted traditional media businesses dramatically, altering industries like book publishing, music, and television. Next characteristic is widespread access to information. The advent of the internet and digital communication technologies has democratized access to information. Information that was once accessible only to certain institutions or through specific media can now be accessed globally by anyone with an internet connection. Next is rapid communication. The ability to communicate information quickly and to a wide audience is a defining characteristic of this age. Optical communication, for instance, provides the backbone for the telecommunications and computer networks that underpin the internet. Fourth characteristic is information as a commodity. In the digital age, information itself has become a valuable commodity. Businesses and individuals alike seek to capitalize on information, using it to drive decisions, innovate, and create new economic opportunity. Last characteristic is transformation of social interactions. The way people interact socially has been transformed by digital technologies. Social media platforms, instant messaging, and video conferencing have all reshaped personal and professional interactions, making them more immediate and often less geographically bound. Impact on society and economy. So, the information age has had profound impacts on both society and the economy. The economy shift. There has been a shift from traditional industries to those based on information technology and services. This shift has created new economic leaders in the tech industry and has changed the nature of work and skills required in the workforce. Next impact is cultural change. The way people consume culture and entertainment has changed with digital media, allowing for streaming services and on demand access to content. This has challenged traditionally media outlet and changed the landscape of entertainment. Privacy and security. With the increase in data generation and digitization, issues of privacy and data security have come to forefront, protecting sensitive protecting sensitive information against unauthorized access and breaches has become a major concern for individuals and organizations alike. Last impact is innovation and creativity. The digital age has spurred innovation at an unprecedented, unprecedented at an unprecedented rate. The ease of sharing and accessing information has led to collaborated projects and innovations that might not have been possible in a less connected world. So, the information age is a dynamic and evolving period characterized by the central role of information in economic, social, and cultural context. As technology continue to advance, the boundaries and implications of the age are continually expanding, influencing virtually every aspect of modern life. The ongoing challenge for societies globally is to manage the benefits and risk associated with this vast access to and reliance on digital information. Here is the relationship to other concepts. So, information is closely related to several key concepts. First is data. Considered the raw material, data by itself may not carry specific meaning until it is processed or organized into a format that can be understood and utilized effectively. Then we have knowledge. This is a step beyond information. It involves the understanding and interpretation of information, integrating it into existing frameworks of understanding. Next, we have wisdom. It represents a further step where knowledge is synthesized with experience, applying it to real life situations to make informed decisions or predictions. Next or last topic for information concept is MIS and the information and knowledge. The goal of the MIS should be to provide the information which has a surprise value and which reduces the uncertainty. It should simultaneously build the knowledge base in the organization by processing the data obtained from different sources in different way. The designer of the MIS should take care of the data problems, knowing that it may contain bias and error by introduction of high level validations, checking and controlling the procedures in the manual and computerized systems. While designing the MIS, due regard should be given to the communication theory of transmitting the information from the source to the destination. Next topic is system concepts. The word system is used in day-to-day life very frequently in describing the subjects such as a traffic system, education system, business system, etc. The system provides a meaningful framework for describing and understanding the features and functions of the subject. System is defined as a set of elements arranged in an orderly manner to accomplish an objective. Some examples are here. Like first example is suppose system is computer, and what are the elements of computer? Its input, process and output devices, operating systems, compiler and packages. And what are the objective of these elements of and computer? Its objective is to process the data and provide information. If we consist accounting as a system, then its elements would be financial transactions, accounting principles and rules, transaction processing methods of accounting. And what will be the objective? Process the transactions and produce monthly books of accounts and the information for financial management. If we consider business organization as our system, then elements would be people, plant and machinery, product and services, communications, transport material. And the objective will be produce goods and services to achieve the business objectives of service, turnover and profit. So it is to be noted that a system is not a randomly arranged set. It is arranged with some logic governed by rules, regulations, principles and policies. Such an arrangement is also influenced by this objective the system desire to achieve. For example, if a computer system 18 designed to perform commercial data processing, then the elements will be the data entry devices and CPU, a disk, a memory, application programs and a printer. If a system in any field is analyzed, it will be observed that it has three basic parts which are organized in an orderly manner. These three parts can be represented in a model as shown in these three parts can be represented like input, then process, then output. So a system may have single input and multiple outputs or may have several input and outputs. For example, a business organization system has several inputs and multiple objectives such as sales, profit, service, and growth. The choice of inputs and processing methodology is governed by the objectives set for the system. Any misalignment in this arrangement would lead to a wasteful collection of inputs and its processing will fail to achieve the desired objective. All these systems operate in an environment. The environment may influence the system in its design and performance. When a system is designed to achieve certain objectives, it automatically sets the boundaries for itself. The understanding of boundaries of the system is essential to bring a clarity in explaining the system components and their arrangement. So our next topic is types of systems. First type is physical and abstract system. First we will So physical systems are tangible entities. It may be static or dynamic in nature. While abstract systems are non-physical entities, or conceptual that may be formulas, representation, or model of a real system. One more point in physical system is the physical parts of the computer center are desk and chair that facilitate operation of the computer are static. A computer is a dynamic system in which programs, data, and application can change according to the user's need. Next type is open and closed system. An open system must interact with its environment, while a closed system is isolated from environment influences. On the first side, it receives inputs and delivers output to the outside of the system, and a completely closed system is rare. Open system must adapt to the changing demands of the users. Next type is adaptive and non-adaptive systems. So adaptive systems responds to the change in the environment in a way to improve their performance and to survive. For example, human being and animals. On other hand, non-adaptive system is a system which does not respond to the environment. For example, machines. Next, we have temporary and permanent systems. So, temporary systems is made for a specified time and after that they are demolished. For example, a DJ system is set up for a program and it is deassembled after the program. On other hand, permanent systems persist for long term. An example is business policies because you can't change policies every day. Next is natural and manufactured system. So natural systems are created by the nature. For example, solar system and seasonal system. On other hand, manufactured system is the man-made systems, for example, rockets, dams and trains. Our next topic is classes of system. There are 5 classes of system. First is data processing system, which is known as DPS. Second is transaction processing system, called as TPS. Then we have application processing system, called APS. Fourth one is business function processing system. This is known as BPS. And last we have integrated information processing system, which is called IPS. Let's discuss all these classes one by one. So first class of system is data processing system. A data processing system is one that uses a computer program or language to process raw data and transfer data into information by using a method known as transaction processing. Data can be captured from many sources, including direct input of data, punch card files, and external media such as disk, tapes, and external drives. The system also analyzes raw data, sorts data according to programming instructions through the software or user intervention, and calculates the disseminates data in the form of a screen inquiry or hard copy report. Next we have TPS. It is an information processing system that captures and processes every single transaction that takes place within the organization. These transactions include activities involving collecting, retrieval, modification, and all other sets of activities that trigger the retrieval and all other sets of activities that trigger the retrieval of all transactions. A transaction processing system is highly reliable, consistent, and efficient. Transaction processing systems may also be referred to as real-time processing system. TPS is designed to handle a transaction between parties. The parties could be two or more and have a designated role in TPS. TPS uses data files, master files, transaction records, and processes the data in a manner specified in the transaction processing designed to execute the transaction. TPS output is a transaction in itself and updating the various other records based on the result processed as a part of the transaction execution. Next class of system is APS. Application Processing System is built over DPSS and TPSS. APS uses files created by DPS and TPS. DPS is data processing system and TPS is transaction processing system and applies application processing rules to execute the application. Application processing system may have an output as a document, a report, or a set of results required to processing further in business function system. For example, billing the customer is an application. This application system uses output files of following TPS. First is customer order acknowledgement. Second, delivery acknowledgement and acceptance by the customer. And last one is product delivery to customer. Billing APS produces bill on the customer and produces number of results to update post billing effect elsewhere. The bill amount breakup are used in the sales processing system. And our fourth class is Business Function Processing System, which is also known as BPS. So BPS deals with business functions. BPS aids in business function processing and help management in decision making required within the scope of a business function. BPS focuses more through information support for management of business function. It brings out more MIS reports for business function management, such as sales, production, and material, customer relations, and so on. Business function is built on several business processes applications. For example, sales function is built on applications like order processing, order manufacturing, delivery, billing, and accounting. Business system uses relevant APS and TPS outputs for processing the system results. Now we have last class of system is Integrated Information Processing System. So IPS sits on the top of the rest systems discussed so far, namely DPS, TPS, APS, BPS. IPS draws its input from these systems and applies information processing rules to bring out an output. IPS generally meets a requirement of top management in the area of planning, budgeting, and strategic control. Systems like project planning, capital budgeting, manufacturing planning, preparing year-end balance sheet schedules and reports are examples of IPS. These systems are valid, authenticated data and information already stored in various systems. IPS is an integrated information processing system for producing information supporting top management's decision making. IPS is further used for developing systems for strategic management. The systems are executive information system, data warehousing and data mining systems, knowledge processing systems, and large number of spreadsheet applications. I hope you all have understood today's topics. Today we covered information concept and little part of system concept. Let's revise few of them. So first one, we studied what is information and the difference between information and data. Then we covered definition of information. After that we covered concept of information. Then there was a conceptual model which is very important. After that we covered characteristics of data quality, because we should know which kind of data we going to collect for our data analysis, right? Next we covered classification and types of information. There was 5 types of information. And then we covered components of information system. There were 5 components was there. Then we covered nature of information. Then we studied information as a resource and information in digital age. After that we covered impact of society and economy, and then relationship with other concepts. And in last we covered system concept and we studied few examples as well. Then we covered part of system and types of system. There was 5 types of system, and in last we covered classes of system. So revise the lecture, and if you face any doubt you can contact me. See you in next lecture.